Okay, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And also, good afternoon, good evening, good night for everybody online here. Before I start the session, I'm gonna check whether the online participants are ready or not. So the first one is Miss Laksmiyanti Anneke Haryadi Nur. Okay, from Indonesia. So, selamat malam, Ibu. Can you hear me? And the next online presenter is Martine Joy Irok from the Philippines. Are you here? Can you hear me? And the next is Madam Victoria Kolesnichenko. Can you hear me, Madam?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so you are here as the fourth presenter, but since the previous two presenters still not ready, maybe I can move you further. So please be ready, be online, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Not now. I'm just checking. Not now. I'm just checking because in this session, most of us are online. Most of the participants are online. So I need to check.
Right.
The last speaker is Mr. Olivier Las Vernas. Can you hear me? Okay, no. So, without further delay, I'm going to start this session. The first speaker today is Mr. Matipon Tangmatiham from Thailand with the presentation about top-down and comprehensive approach to astronomy outreach at the national level. Please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Matipon Tangmatitham from National Astronomical Research Institute of Thailand, or NARIT. Well, before we begin, I just like to have a little quick survey. So like a little game I like to call Who You Gonna Call? So just imagine yourself in this position and try to imagine from where you're from. As many institution person as you can that will satisfy your need. So first, for example, let's imagine you're a layperson. There's this new astronomical discovery happening. You want to find out more about it. How many people can you think of? You can do by a show of hands, or you can do it in your head as well. If you can show me your hands with fingers, I'd be appreciated. Nobody? Oh, is that right? Okay. All right. And next, what happens is, let's say you're an amateur astronomer. You want to know more about how we can use a telescope. All right. So you're probably thinking of something like, amateur astronomer group, local, or community. All right. So what about if you're parents looking for a place to explore your scientific curiosity for the weekend? Well, if you're in France and Toulouse, you probably come here to see the little space, right? And what about if you're a student wanting to learn more about astronomy? Well, you'd probably go to school if your school have class, or you go to other resources. Maybe your school has a field trips. Okay, these four things are what I like to call the basic pillars of astronomy outreach. And the way it's usually traditionally done is what I would like to consider as a bottoms-up approach, because you can see that these four elements are vital to the survival of each other. They support each other, but more importantly, they are independent from each other. Each of a person can step up and contribute to one of these fields together. And this is a really beautiful model. Has been proven to work in many countries. Now imagine what happens if you don't have any of these. Now this was a situation we were in 15 years ago. It was a situation when I was growing up. And we don't really have any astronomy news. And I'm really serious about this. I mean, in my career, I've had to give an interview to a major newspaper, to a science reporter of a major newspaper. I explained to him that no, the moon is not a planet because it is a natural satellite of the Earth. And he asked me to repeat slowly so he can write it down. That's the kind of thing we had to deal with. And I mean, why would they invest in a real science writer if the people in our country never go to planetarium, there's no amateur astronomers. There's no profit to be done in writing a good science news. And at the same time, if you're trying to build a planetarium, well, who's gonna come? People don't have a habit of coming to planetarium they don't have a culture of seeking science as an outreach thing. So this becomes like a trap. It is really hard to get out of. I mean, eventually, we would like to get to the bottoms-up approach like many other developing nations did, but it would take a long time. Well, what would really help is if we can have one single organization that handles all these missing elements, missing core elements from the outreach infrastructures. And this is what we call our approach, the top-down. It is top-down and it is comprehensive. It is top-down because it's just done by a single organization. We have to do this because no one else would. And it's comprehensive because we can't just do just one thing, or else this momentum would never take off. So we have to do everything. Well, this starts from the news and article that I was telling you about. So we have a team, we have to be the science writer, and we can't just, most research organizations have science writer, but they only write about their own discoveries. So ESA would never write about NASA. We have to write about everything, every major and minor astronomy research that has been done in the past 15, 20 years has been covered by us, including minor articles teaching people about basic astronomy or recent astronomy news, events going on. There's a meteor shower. We have to write about it. And also, we have to provide hands-on experience. We have to do science camp, astronomy camps, camps after camps, because we want to provide people with many hands-on experience as possible. Science camps, public nights, and everything. And we need infrastructures. Now, we actually is probably one of the only, if not the only, organization in the world that operates a chain of public observatories. If you can think of any, please let me know. We actually operate a chain of 5 regional public observatories for the public that's equipped with basic exhibitions, planetariums, and also observatories with telescopes for a public night. But also, more importantly, we want to think about how we're going to create a lasting impact. So we invest heavily upon our astronomy teacher training and workshop. And over the years, we've trained over almost 10,000 teachers have been trained during one of these workshops. Now, and over the years, the numbers, if you look at the graph, the number is climbing almost exponentially, especially if you're willing to forgive the COVID years, just a tiny little bump. But more importantly, if you look at it, in the last fiscal year, we have serviced a total of 674,000 participants. Now, that number might seem like a lot. It is a lot, but you also have to keep in mind, these are 600,000 people whose parents never went to a planetarium because we didn't have one. These are people who didn't, originally 15 years ago, the culture of seeking science as entertainment was not a thing. Now, for us, this is unprecedented. This is beyond what we were hoping to accomplish just when we started to do this top-down approach. And obviously, when you get these numbers, like really crazy things start to happen. When you do any small event, we want to do like a trivia competition, suddenly 3,000 people shows up. We want to do like a Kerbal Space Program competition, well, 100 teams signs up. We want to do a stargazing night. We will decide to do a stargazing night over Bangkok for the first time. And in the single night, we have 12,500 participants shows up over 3 hours. And this is by far the largest people ever gathered for a stargazing events that I've known of.
1 more minute.
Okay, it is 5 more than the current Guinness World Records. Now the question on a lot of people's mind right now would be, well, like how much is this? How much do you fund? Well, we do have a large team of outreach personnel. We have almost 55, this is among the largest. We operate 5 regional observatories. We have third parties and all the activities that I just talked to you about. Well, this amounts to about 5% of our annual budget, which is probably bigger than most research institutions. But that 5% is only 1 million euros. Well, let me put it in more perspective. If every participant pay the fee that they pay to ride the bus to here, then that is more than enough to cover the operation fee of our outreach budget 2 years in a row. That's just, when you do it this scale, it becomes ridiculous cheap. And also, this is one of a rare case where you actually could say the outreach is carrying the research, because when we go to the budget, we present the outreach numbers, it is a lot easier to get the momentum going and with the support from the public as well. Well, what do we do after this? Believe it or not, the next goal after this, after we attain momentum, we need to lose our jobs. Because the whole point wasn't to monopolize everything to us to begin with. We want to provide people a means to do this themselves. But at the same time, so one of the projects that we started doing, we have enough teacher training, so we started providing telescopes for free to the teachers if they apply, as long as they keep using it. And so far, we have given out 600 of these. There's one in every province in Thailand. And if there's a supernova happening right now, we can organize a nationwide event tomorrow night. This is how powerful it is. And we can change our role from directly doing into supporting role. We provide them with equipments, with information, and we are in the position, we interact with a lot of people, we can develop, we can focus on quality over quantity. And we can support them and reward them other ways. We set up a teacher conference where they can present their work, and we can award them with award recognition and give them incentives to continue doing their great work. And this is, in a nutshell, what it is called Astronomy in a Red model. And if you'd like to hear more about what we do, well, if you happen to be in GA this year, our director is actually receiving the IAU ODE Outreach Prize this year for the work I just described to you. Now, before we leave, I just like to leave you with one single special case study. So this is a photo I took myself, all right? And this was taken in December 25th, Christmas of 2021. That bright object on the top right is not a comet. The comet is actually the one below. The one big on the top right was actually Ariane 5 rockets carrying James Webb Space Telescope. And so this is a picture in a lifetime. Obviously, we put it on social media, and it went on a hit really quickly, 150,000 people. But that was not the top story we had that night. I mean, we also pushed a story about the James Webb launching, and that's also even bigger, but that's not even the biggest. We also I took another picture with a telescope of James Webb, and that's even bigger, reaches 400,000. But the top story that night was this picture taken by PR staff with a cell phone camera during one of our public nights, also of the James Webb, with only tight, short caption, "Goodbye, James Webb." But what this tells us, and this reached by the millions, what this picture gives to people, well, to me, astronomy has always been about what is that light in the sky. This picture gives him that answer. And when that happened, everybody saw this light, and the question happened in everybody's mind, what is that light? And imagine how powerful it would be if every single people in your community has one same name popping up in their head, and that name is your institution. And that's the work we do. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much, Matipon, but I'm sorry, we have no time for question because you already have presented in 11 minutes.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you, Ka. Okay, so the next speaker is Ms. Laksmiyanti Anneke Haryadi Nur in online platform. So Ms. Laksmiyanti, are you ready? Are you online? Oh, okay. The next row is Mr. Martin Joy Irok. Are you online, sir? Good night.
Hello, good evening. I'm online.
Okay. So the next will be Miss Victoria Kolesnikchenko. See, are we? Right? Do you know who say outline? Ah. Okay, so for Mr. Olivier, he will present it about a third of a century of Noix d'Étoiles events in France, evolution process and impact on astronomy laser landscape. And you have maximum 10 minutes, sir, but if you want question and answer section, please finish at 8 minutes. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you hear me well?
Yes, but not your slide.
Yes, okay. Okay. I will share my slides, and can you tell me if it's good?
Okay.
Okay. Now I think it will be good in a few seconds. Do you see my slides?
Yes, but not in
Okay.
full screen mode. But it's
It's good?
okay. It's clear.
Okay. So I'm very happy to be with you to speak about this national event we have created in France since for 33 years. In fact, we had the idea at that moment, we had the idea to create a national event regarding the shooting stars in the middle of August. And we asked to all the organization, astronomical clubs and so on in France, if they were okay to organize in a national way a common event. And we have the chance that a TV program accepted to organize also a TV show for this night. So in 91, we organized the first national event called La Nuit des Étoiles, and it was at the same time many star parties in clubs in France, everywhere in the country, and also a TV program with astronomers and people asking questions and presentation about astronomy and other related sciences. So this event was for the first time a very good success that we had with us 100 of astronomical clubs located everywhere in the country. They decided to come with us and to make star parties just for this event. And so it was 33 years ago. And each summer since this period, we have this national event. The idea that we had in mind and that began to be a success was to have an aggregative event. That means that the idea was that any partner, that's a journal or a TV program or a radio program or a local club or a local cultural association could be related with us at that moment. So now we are 33 years after that. What we have to say is that during the 10 first years, we had this TV program with us. It was a 2-hour TV program exactly related on astronomy for the whole night, and it reached something like 1 to 3 million of spectators each year. After that, the TV program was suppressed for money reasons, and we go on only with the local astronomical clubs and so on. But in fact, it didn't change really the public, the audience we had on the clubs. I will give you some elements about that. Here is a research on Google Trends, and we are compared in blue. It is the audience. It's the research regarding Nuit des Étoiles on Google each year. You have from 2004 till this year. And you can see that in blue we have Night of the Stars, Nuit des Étoiles, and in red it's the major other science event in France, which is called La Fête de la Science. And you can see that we are, some years we had, let's say something like 10 times more as audience than La Fête de la Science, and it goes on each year with a very high level of people reached. To give you some idea of the covering of the country, each dot is an astronomical club organizing 1, 2, or 3 nights during the weekend of La Nuit des Étoiles. We have this year, for instance, we have exactly 533 official events in 400 locations. That means that we reached this last year in 2023, we reached 150,000 people. And we know that we have at the same time at least 10 times more people looking by themselves at the occasion of Night of the Star. Why? Because we have all those events organized in astronomical clubs, when we have also the main newspapers that are speaking about the Night of the Star. I will show you an example. Each year we have most of the newspapers that are publishing papers and dossiers about Nuit des Étoiles. That means that we have, at the same time, something like 150,000 people really in the clubs, the star parties, and at the same time, we have people using those star maps and so on by themselves, with grandsons, grandfathers, and so on in families, looking by themselves to the Nuit des Étoiles. And since 10 years, we decided to organize also to prepare documents to organize yourself your veillée aux étoiles, your specific star parties for your family. And now we have many people, you can see the figures here, we have many people downloading elements to organize themselves star parties. Okay, so another element, it's about the evaluation of the quality of the night of the stars. So we have some figures here. It's for last year. Here you can see the size of the local events. 1/3 of the local events are with small clubs. That means that they have something around 50 or at maximum 100 of people coming, but it's a local feast. It's very interesting. It's, let's say, small parties. And you have also big organizers. 10% of the organizers receive more than 1,000 of people for the Nuit des Étoiles. So we have a great diversity of people, and we have a great diversity of local organizers. As you can see on this figure, you have the satisfaction, the measurement of satisfaction of the organizers for each year. You can see that most of the organizers are giving to the organization something like 7, 8, 9, or 10 as a score. You can see that it was a little less in 2023, but it was due to meteorological problems. It was raining at half of France, so they were not very satisfied. However, we have tried to see the impact of this national event on what we call the landscape of astronomical leisure in France. We have studied what is the impact
2 more
on
minutes,
different...
sir.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
We have seen what are the impact of the on the organization, local organization, and what we have seen is that during the 10 first year of La Nuit des Étoiles, we widely opened the activities of clubs. We contributed to that. That means that at the beginning of the national event, the clubs were somehow closed on their members, and now most of the French astronomical clubs are really widely open to a larger public. And now we are working on new elements. We are working on the winter Nuit des Étoiles, and we are working also on program of training animators and facilitators. And this is the main activities of our association. We are also publishing the national French journal Ciel et Espace. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have time for one question, if any, from audience in this room or online. Any question? No? Okay, since there is no question, merci beaucoup,
Okay.
monsieur. Now we
You're
move.
very welcome. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. So now we move to the next presenter. It should be Miss Victoria Kolesnichenko. Are you online, madam?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully you can hear me. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So your presentation is about Highway to Mars, the role of metaphors in media coverage of the red planet. You have maximum 10 minutes, but if you want to have question and answer section, please finish in 8 minutes. The screen is yours.
Sure, thank you. So I'm going to try to share my presentation. Hopefully I succeed. So could you tell me, do you see anything presentation related on your screen now?
Yes, we can see it,
good.
but not in full screen mode.
All right, should be better now, hopefully. Right, so
Okay, perfect.
thank you. I'm here to talk about a very small pilot study that I conducted. But before I get to that, I'm gonna introduce myself just a little. I'm a professional astronomy communicator, but my background is only in journalism and soon also in marketing, since I'm doing my second master's in that. So as a media researcher, I decided to look into the way that science communicators use metaphors, and that's the study I'm conducting right now. Another study I conducted, the results of which I'm presenting right now, are of a small survey or online experiment to see, that's aim was to see how audiences react to the use of metaphors in the text about planetary science specifically. So we all know that metaphors are used very widely in context of astronomy or space science in general. We know that we see those metaphors all the time in press releases, like black holes eat matter, they have terrible table manners. We see the comparisons with the animals and humans when we read the articles about Martian rovers or some other kinds of spacecraft. So my question was, how do audiences see these metaphors? Do they help them to comprehend information, or are they in the way of understanding and remembering it? So now I'm going to talk about the methodology of this online experiment. As I mentioned before, it's a very small scale pilot study, so we have only 119 participants that were divided into two groups. The control group that was supposed to read the text without metaphors, and the group that was supposed to read the text with the metaphors. And they both groups got the same questions about the way of understanding the material, remembering, or their willingness to share the material with their friends and family. So about that in just a second. So this experiment was conducted through Google Forms, and the participants were gathered through social media, which I think is a huge challenge that I encountered, and definitely social media should be replaced by crowdsourcing platforms where the audiences come ready to participate, willing to participate, they're motivated in different ways. But unfortunately, right now in Russia, we don't have any crowdsourcing platforms access for obvious reasons. And I had to resort to using social media websites and apps like Kontakte, which is this notorious social media website that's like a Russian Facebook, and Telegram, which is a messenger but is widely used by Russian-speaking audiences in terms of getting their news. This is a study of Russian-speaking audiences, since I didn't gather any data on their citizenship or their nationalities. So they can come from anywhere on the territory of the former USSR. So as I mentioned, we had two groups. One was 59 people, another one was 60 people. They got the same texts, but the only difference the text contained were the metaphors. So 4 fragments for each group, and I will demonstrate them in slides further on. Before I get there, I should mention that these are very good sources for someone who is interested in seeing how metaphors are studied, metaphors in space science specifically. But you see, there are not many studies one could read, one could use in their work. So I'd very much like to see that changed, and hopefully my further attempts at conducting such experiments will be more successful and will help fill this void. And the main inspiration of this study was a study of my former colleague, who was also from the same institution, from Lomonosov Moscow State University. And his work was on the use of metaphors in the discourse on depression. So I thought that maybe his methodological basis could be interesting in terms of studying science communication. So if you're interested in studies like that, or just in looking at metaphors from some other perspective, that is psychological and cognitive sciences, definitely check his works out. He has plenty of papers published in English, and his works are really good. So as I mentioned, I used two platforms, Kontakte, Russian Facebook, and Telegram for my research, and that posed some challenges for my research. Specifically, when it comes to Kontakte, people are very tired of the algorithm there, so algorithm advertising algorithm there. And since the only way I could source any respondents was through advertising, I had to receive a lot of negative feedback from the audiences that don't like to see ads that Kontakte generally shows. So here you see some data on the amount of people who saw the ad and pressed the link to the study. And these are for the two versions of this study. On the right, you see, so I didn't translate this one to English, but on the right, you see how this ad looked in the social media feed of my respondents. And below the challenges for looking for respondents, you see the data on the number of people who saw the ad. So the number of people who pressed the link, who hid the ad from their feed. But more interesting is that two essentially identical ads received different reaction from audiences merely for the reason that I used different illustrations for them. So here you see a picture of Mars from the orbit, taken by some orbiter probably, or during a flyby of some sort. But before I published this version of the ad, I decided to use different pictures for different ads just for my personal use to make it easier to navigate. And then I use the picture of a Perseverance rover, very similar to the one that you see on the screen. And for some reason, that ad got a lot of hate from the audiences. I don't know for which reason in particular, but you see that 21 people reported this ad to the administration of the website, while the ad with the picture of Mars was reported only by 3 people. So for some reason, a picture of rover got people really furious. Maybe there is this phobia of robots at play. Maybe that's the reason why. The reason why we see such a reaction is that people of Kontakte generally feel very hostile to everything Western related. And maybe they saw this rover, thought it was American, and decided to report it. But I really hope that the former reason is at play here, not the latter. But that's a very interesting result I got while posting the ad. So the questions I asked my respondents were: do you trust the information in this fragment of the text? Does this text motivate you to discuss this topic with your friends? So by asking that question, I wanted to see sort of a life cycle of a text with a metaphor and without it. And then another questions included evaluation of the informativeness of the fragment, the comprehensibility of the passage. I asked them also to rate the complexity of the text. And the last question was, would you like to learn more about the topic covered in the text? And I should say it once more that they got essentially the
Sorry to
same
interrupt,
text.
a few more minutes.
Yeah, sure. So they got the same text, but the difference was in the metaphor. Here you see in bold and white text the exact metaphors they got and the analog for the control group. So this is a translation from Russian to English that was done by me, and all the texts were also comprised by me based on the materials I could find online from the real articles. So for this text that contained a reference to the Star Wars franchise, it's interesting that when asked about their level of interest in the topic and willingness to learn more about it, participants who read the text with the metaphor responded much more positively than the control group. So 28% of respondents said they wanted to learn more after reading the fragment with the metaphor versus 17% in the case of the text without the metaphor. In general, perhaps due to cultural differences, the use of the Star Wars metaphor didn't do great in terms of other questions. But that's the result about the willingness of learning more about the topic. I think it's pretty interesting. So a significant difference is that a metaphor did succeed in making a mundane like titanium tube exciting for the general audience. Next text was about the opportunity mission. So it's an old one. So the proportion of participants motivated to share this news was equal for both groups, but the control group was more strongly opposed to the idea of sharing this news. 47% of them indicated no interest whatsoever in discussing the news with someone, versus 39% in the group that received the text with the metaphor. So in this case, the text with the metaphor was rated as more informative and much more comprehensible. And the control group was less confident about the simplicity of information, which I guess is quite predictable. Next text was about the geology of Mars, and it contained my favorite kind of metaphor, that is food metaphor. You see that the geological composition here is compared to a cake. So in this case, 31% of participants who read the text with a metaphor found it as informative as possible, so highly informative, absolutely informative, compared to just 22% of respondents in the control group. We see that there was a significant difference in how the participants in the two groups perceived the complexity of the given fragment. The ones who read it with the metaphor.
I'm sorry,
thought
madam,
that the
you have used 11 minutes. There are other presenters after you, so I give you 1 more minute. Thank you.
Okay, sure. So in this case, it's very predictable that this text was more understandable for the group. And the last example is a pebble stuck in the Perseverance rover's wheel, which is an interesting thing. We got the interesting data. In this case, the representatives of the control group actually showed better results than the ones who read the text with the metaphor. So probably information about the pebble wasn't deemed important for people who read about it, so the metaphor was excessive. So yeah, thank you for your attention. That's it. And if anyone has any advice for future studies on the sources, or maybe the question that should be asked, I would be very grateful if you could reach out to me. Oh yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's already 12 minutes for you, so no question and answer section, but please be ready because after I finish all the presenters, we might still have time. Okay, so the next presenter will be Martine Joy Irok. Are you online?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Okay, so please, you have maximum 10 minutes, madam.
Let me share my screen first. Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, but your screen is not here.
Okay. This one.
Okay, perfect.
So a pleasant day to everyone. I would like to greet clear skies to everyone. I am Ira De Sesto, representing the Philippine Astronomical Society on the research entitled Celebrating 50 Years of the Philippine Astronomical Society, a review of the challenges and best practices of astronomy outreach in the Philippines. First off is the introduction to the Philippine Astronomical Society, or PAS. Now, who among you knows the Philippine Astronomical Society? Established in 1971, PAS is a non-stock, non-profit organization committed to propelling astronomy education toward achieving scientific excellence among Filipinos. From the PAS 1974 Constitution and bylaws, the mission and vision of our organization revolve around creating a community of amateur and professional astronomy enthusiasts, promoting awareness and interest in astronomy. So PAS aims to foster widespread interest in astronomy, disseminate information locally and internationally, establish an astronomical center and planetarium in Manila, design and construct telescopes and optical devices, and provide the public basic knowledge to stimulate interest in science. So kindly look at the significant years of development and changes in the organization. From 1971, the establishment of the first astronomy organization in the Philippines, which is PAS, to celebrating the 50th year of the organization, and from 2024 to the future, is to conduct a greater astronomy outreach in and outside the Philippines. So PAS in the years of astronomy organization outreach. In 2007, we conducted the first urban astronomy observation. In 2009, the celebration of International Year of Astronomy. And lastly, in 2011 is the PAS Continuing Education Program. So as of June 2024, these are the current numbers of PAS from our active volunteers, members, FB page members, FB followers, and Instagram followers. Fortunately for PAS, these numbers increase yearly, and I hope you become one of our members too. So here is a map of the Philippines indicating the locations and population distribution of PAS members nationwide. It is evident that the greater Metro Manila area, including the country's capital, has the highest concentration of members. Here are the examples of the offerings provided by our organization for its astronomy outreach programs. The standard outreach program PAS offers is the free telescope viewings or the FTVs. We conduct FTVs with astronomy lectures, especially during astronomical events in Metro Manila and nearby areas. We also raise public awareness by holding these programs in various schools. So PAS offers schools and institutions nationwide free astronomy lectures, stargazing, and workshops. Astro camps in school tours, organized for different grade levels, are organized upon request by the schools and PAS Education Committee. Also, PAS conducts astronomy and telescope workshop covering setup, usage, and maintenance, with some including basic astrophotography training. Here are some examples of the astrophotography and the astrophotography training. PAS hosts monthly lectures covering a wide range of astronomy topics open to the public of all ages. Led by expert speakers, these lectures aim to educate attendees on current trends and aspects of astronomy. So here are the example publication materials for the astronomy lectures. In the 1990s, the PAS expedition team traveled globally to promote astronomy through talks and telescope setups, particularly during significant astronomical events. Their outreach efforts significantly raise awareness of astronomy's significance in science and culture nationwide and worldwide. The APPULSE is the official publication of PAS. So PAS monthly newsletter includes articles on its events and activities, as well as member-contributed pieces on telescope handling, astrophotography, scientific anecdotes, and related topics to engage the community. The following program that I personally love is the Astro Camp, or the Stargazing Camp. This is held in dark sky locations outside Metro Manila, coinciding with astronomical events. The meteor shower and Milky Way camps are open to the public and typically accommodate 100 to 150 participants. So here are the example pictures from our Astro Camp or Stargazing camps. This graph illustrates the participant numbers in past stargazing camps starting from 2020. The Milky Way Camp 2024 attracted the most participants, totaling 136, while the Pasilip Camp had the fewest, with 66 participants. During the pandemic, PAS launched Astro at Home at their Facebook page, featuring astronomy lectures and online moon viewing episodes that reached thousands of viewers, aiming to bring astronomy activities into household despite lockdowns. Now let's go over to NOW, or the National Astronomy Week. So who is behind the National Astronomy Week? National Astronomy Week was proposed and initiated by past members Edwin Aguirre and Imelda Hobson in 1990. The first NOW in the Philippines was held on April 16, 1990, organized by PAS in collaboration with the government agency PAGASA. NOW is celebrated every third week of February in the Philippines under Presidential Proclamation number 130 S 1993, promoting public astronomy education activities including stargazing sessions, FTV, planetarium shows, contests, and astronomy lectures organized nationwide. So kindly look at the themes of the National Astronomy Week over the past decade, which was celebrated by past and the locations in which it is held. The latest theme for now, last February 2024, is Parsec, which is popularizing astronomy in the region through science education and communication. So the Astro Quiz in Interscholastic Astronomy competition for themes of 3 to 4 students, featuring 3 rounds, easy, medium, and difficult, where answers are written on a provided board within specified time limits. The school with the highest cumulative score wins a medal. The next one is the Astro Reels. It is a contest promoting public engagement in astronomy through educational videos on astronomical facts, phenomena, and events. It aims to increase interest in astronomy by sharing information on platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and FB Reels. The next contest for National Astronomy Week, which is the AstroLit or Astronomy Literature Contest. This celebrates creativity through literary works related to astronomy. The next one is from elementary and junior high school students.
I'm
Create
sorry, 2 more
posters
minutes.
on site, digitally or traditionally, based on a given astronomy theme. So next one is last one is the astrophotography contest that encourages participants to photograph celestial objects or events. Since our organization is a nonprofit, challenges include securing funding for projects, volunteer-led organization or manpower, also international connections or collaborations, local chapters around the Philippines, and professional astronomers and research. Evaluation of activities include post-event evaluation, feedback form, and post-event evaluation within the core team and board of directors of PAS. So the best practices include utilizing social media, ensuring accessible events, location transportation, and hybrid mode, and maintaining openness to collaboration and invitation. So these are the example pictures posted on our YouTube and Instagram pages following these best practices conducted by PAS. So this is our PAS Facebook page analytics for the past 3 years. Despite declines in 3-second and 1-minute views and total minutes viewed, the significant increase in reach and content interactions on PAS Facebook page over the past 3 years demonstrates its effectiveness in reaching a broader audience and engaging users more deeply with astronomy-related content. For the future prospect for PAS include upgraded astronomical instruments to enhance research capabilities, expanding research scope to cover a broader range of astronomical studies, strengthening international connections and collaborations to foster knowledge exchange and joint project, and lastly, to enhance the volunteer community through training and support to sustain organizational and outreach efforts. So thank you so much and salamat. Mabuhay from the Philippines.
Okay, so thank you
Feel
very
free
much.
to contact the email and social media of Philippine Astronomical Society and scan the QR code shown.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you.
already 10 minutes, so you have no time for question and answer. And I need to call the last presenter for today, Miss Laksmiyanti Anake Haryadinur. Are you online? Online, no? Okay. Okay, so because the last presenter does not online, we have 10 minutes for question and answer section, and you can deliver question to all presenters in this session, starting from Mr. Matipon and Miss Martin, Miss Victoria, and Mr. Olivier. Yeah, that's all. If you have any question, you can deliver.
I'm Krzysztof from Poland. I have a question for Philippines. Your members are astronomers or amateur astronomers? Question for Philippine Astronomical Society. Who is your members? Astronomers or amateur astronomers?
Please repeat the question.
Your members are astronomers or amateur astronomers?
So our members are both amateur astronomers and astronomers.
Both of them, okay.
Yes.
So any other question from participants in this room or maybe online? To all presenters. Okay, I will ask question to Matipon then, because nobody asking. So I'm wondering, in the last picture, is it, what temple is that? Is it Doisutep?
So the last picture I showed was it was actually on Doyenton, one of our highest peaks, is also where our national observatory is located.
Okay. So any other question for all presenters? So since there is no question, I would like to close the session today. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Khop kun ka. See you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot. Merci beaucoup.
Yes. You would like to talk about astronomy in Thailand? So you write about us in a magazine? Yeah, sure. Sure. I mean, our director